All right, cool. So we are back for part 2. And what we're going to do in this one is do all the touch-ups. So we've got a few little bits here. Can you see the overspray there? A few little overspray bits. A bit around here along the front. So we just want to, I'm just going to come in and just touch these up with this paintbrush. I'll have to probably do a couple of coats. Oops. A couple of coats on it. But it's not too bad. So we're not spending hours literally painting everything. And some of this other overspray that we've got down here, I'll leave that there. It sort of adds to sort of a 3D effect. But a lot of the poorer edges we'll just touch up with a paintbrush. A couple of coats it will need. And so right, we just want to come in with our colour, and it usually builds up around the stitching because it's an angle, so it hits it and you can't stick the vinyl as good as you want around the stitching. So any bits around there, we're just going to come in, lay it on thick, and just get rid of some of the overspray that gets under the stencils. Nice and thick. There. You want a bit around here. This is a bit of a shitty brush that I've got, but not to worry. There. Where are we on the front? Yeah, that a little bit in. Just make this little line a bit more pronounced. Can you see? Yeah, it's like so. And that it just cleans it up a little bit. Just like that. Alright, okie dokie. So we're all done touching up. All looks nice. There we go. So now what we're going to do is pull all this stuff off. Alright, okay, so we've taken it all off, and we're pretty good. There's a bit of overspray I've got on the inside, but that's alright because this is going in the dark red. Tiny little bit there. All the edges are cool if you look. So yeah, that it's beneficial to taping up like that. I've got a little bit there, tiny bit there, and that's that. So we're pretty clean now. And I've got this at the back here, but that's going in black anyway. I've got a little logo that we're putting on there, so I'm not bothered about that. Right, so now what we're going to do is do the panels, paint the panels their colours, and then we are going to put on these little baby Milos across this panel, and the back and the front. All right, cool. Let's crack on. there's some builders next door. If you see here, we've got the edges like unpainted there and then painted here. So I'll coat them up. I'll leave the last coat until, well, obviously last, but just before I paint it, I will come in with some watered down paint with the acrylic Tamiya thinner that I use, or a bit of IPA mixed with some water, and I'll just come in so it's thin, because I don't want it to be thick like the paint that we put on the panels. I just want it to soak into the edges just to give them a colour, but not so it's like painted. It sort of soaks in and you've got that, you've got a sort of a subtle edge where it's not quite, oops, I need to mix that a bit more, where it's not quite as basically it doesn't leave a thick coat, it just soaks in, so you've still got the look of the actual sort of cut edge leather, if you know what I mean. Where are we? Let's get it in there. Can I zoom in a little bit more? Yeah, so you can see sort of there, and just so, look, you just have to run on the edge and it soaks in. 2 coats of this and you'll have that effect, so it looks like a cut edge still. And I'll just do that, oh sorry, bloody camera, and I'll just do this all the way around, and it just makes it look a little bit better. Plus, if you're putting thick paint on, you're going to get it on everything else as well, and this, you only just have to touch the edge and it soaks in just like so, if you can see. Yeah, 2 coats, maybe 3, but you don't want too much. You just want it to sort of come out. Where are we? Can we see there very well? Just like that edge there, just like that. All right. Now we're going to start on the, done all the coating. I've still got one more coat to put on here in the back, but for now I just want to get a coat on this, sorry, put the baby Milos on here. So like we did in the last one, got our template, and yeah, we just crack on with this. So as we normally do, draw around. I'm going to trim this to fit once I've got it stuck on, like I normally do in other videos. All right, cool. So let me just cut this out and put the transfer tape on it, and I'll be back to show you. All right, okay, so we've got our little piece done, and same as usual, we want to place it on the middle, get ourselves lined up pretty good, straight, like so. Okay, like so, sorry about that. And then we want to push around like we normally do, but what I'm going to do this time, because I want this to be right into the edges, I am going to come in and literally cut as we go. Brand new blade again as usual, so I want to come in and just run it round this edge, which is going to relax the stencil a little bit, so we can stick as we cut. Don't have to be completely perfect with this, helps to be good though. Same with this side, into the edge, and just cut around. That will relax that piece, like so. And what I think I'll do is time lapse it for you. So now we've done, we got it on, we need to take off our bits that we don't want, so let's start taking off this little baby Milo thing that I've made. You see? Yes, you can. So here we go. So this is the stencil that's going on the panels and on these, just like this. Okay, cool. I will time lapse again. Alright, okie dokie, so there it is on the front, as you can see, and looks pretty sick. So it's all cut in around the edge. So now what I'm going to do, I won't bore you with all of this, I'll just go get these two panels done, and then we'll go out and I'll just spray them up quickly, because I'm going to tape around these edges here and just protect this a little bit. Just a light coat, it's going in petal pink, and yeah, cool. So I'll see you out in the booth. Right, okay, so I've got it all on. I'm just going to do this panel for you. I've taped this up with a bag because I didn't want the tape to go onto this paint, because I'll show you when I peel all of this off. But this pink up at the front of the toe box hasn't adhered properly to the background. I know what it is when you see, I've been doing these over 2 weeks on and off when I've got time, but when you let the paint, the Angela's paint, dry out for too long before you put the next coat of paint on, it loses its tackiness, and that's what I've done in here. I've taken too long to put this camo on, so I haven't put a finisher over it yet, but we're just going to go with it like that. Luckily these aren't for sale, otherwise I'd have it'll be a redo again. But they're right, they're for the missus, so I can get away with it there. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna time lapse you in the booth spraying this, and then we'll be up and we'll take it off and I'll show you what's happened here, and I'll have to touch it up. What I should have used on all of it, everything straight away, is I use this. This is great for football boots as well. adhesion promoter. This, I'm going to try this, show you some videos of this stuff, just testing it out so you can see how it goes. But this is the stuff that works wonders, mate. All right, cool, let's crack on. All right, cool. So there it is. It's kind of sick. I've got I'm doing a darker, pardon me, same Milo on here but darker, and we've got to put them on this panel and this panel. Now you can see at the front here, look, I've pulled that whole piece off. I've been messing around with it a bit. It's a bit come off a bit too much. So what I think I'm going to do is touch up anything that I need touching up, and I'm going to put a finish on it, just so then when I'm doing this side I don't ruin the rest of this here. It looks pretty good. It's pretty on. I can test it with a bit of tape and pull it off, and it's all right. But just this bit on the toe box weren't too clever. There's a little bit there as well on that dark piece. But yeah, all right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna carry on doing these bits separately off camera, and then I'll be back in a second and show you where we are with it. Cool, let's crack on. All right, cool. So I'm going to call it here because I need to get this video out for Sunday, or today, right, when it's out now. So I actually painted this panel the wrong colour, so I had to take this panel back and then put it in the right colour. I've got to do this panel, but to be honest with you, putting on this detailed stencils like this takes about, you're looking at an hour just for each panel trying to get these detailed stencils on. So the rest of this will be ready in the next video. We're going to make the tags. I've got the eyelets to put in, laces. There's some other bits. Oh, I've got the shark teeth going across the tick there. And then we've got the blue one to do, which I might just do a video for the whole on whole time lapse for that whole blue shoe. I might even do a live, we'll see. All right, so like, subscribe, all of that, leave a comment. I hope you're enjoying these. I kind of find it better to show you everything instead of making these short videos where it's just perfect. It's better for you to see all these mistakes and the intensity of what it takes sometimes just to make something like this. But all right, so cool. Catch you in the next one in about, I'd say, a week's time, hopefully. All right, bless.